You don't get to make an omelet without breaking a few eggs. And with a multi-billion-dollar empire, Elon Musk has had his fair share of struggles. His most recent spat has everyone glued to their screens, as this time Musk has drawn the ire of an entire country. Elon Musk, the CEO of SpaceX, recently found himself in hot water with China. China protested that its space station was obliged to take evasive measures to avoid colliding with satellites launched by Musk's Starlink project, and this was not the first time that SpaceX's satellites strayed dangerously close to the space station. Musk is no stranger to controversy, and this recent one is just an affirmation of what we know about the man so far. He never backs down from a challenge, sometimes even without considering the disastrous consequence that could follow. The Chinese government has been swift in condemning the irresponsible behavior by Elon's company at the United Nations. But is there more to this story than just an eccentric billionaire being unreasonable? Or does China have ulterior motives in bringing Elon down? The Starlink system promised by Elon promises to revolutionize the internet and telecommunication as we know it. The network of broadband satellites being launched today will encompass the planet by enabling internet supply to the remotest corners of Earth. No matter if someone lives in a remote village in Cambodia or a metropolis like New York, these internet services will connect the world on an unseen, unprecedented scale. So, what is the issue with this brilliant program? Well, space for one. The thing about Starlink is that the satellites are only functional at comparatively lower altitudes. This is around 22,000 miles from the Earth's surface. But what complicates matters is that this is simply not much space in the golden region. Like land down on the Earth's surface, space is also a commodity, and very valuable at that. With satellites increasing steadily, there are fears that we are clogging the region too much, leading to increased chances of collision occurring. China has been very vocal in condemning Elon's approach to space tech, but their motivation may be built on fear, the fear of being left out. Instead of pursuing punitive damage, China has been working to develop its own network of broadband satellites. To make this dream a reality, they have been working steadily in space technology and developments. China has been increasing the number of satellite launches steadily, from almost none at the beginning, at least to 400 right now. As of now, they have plans to send around 1,000 more in the coming years to ensure that they have complete coverage. And with SpaceX in the way, that is a problem. As space gets increasingly crowded, close collisions between man-made objects in orbit are increasing with SpaceX's Starlink, and is being cited as a key factor according to Hugh Lewis, the head of Astronautics Research Group at the University of Southampton. In the United Kingdom, Starlink has already accounts for more than half of all close encounters between spacecraft and orbit, with the proportion expected to rise as much as 90 as the company launches more satellites. If that wasn't enough, the concerns about probable collisions would almost certainly rise, and space operations will become more perilous as humans launch more items into orbit. It should have been mentioned that Russia and China have undertaken anti-satellite or ASAT military experiments, which satellites in orbit were practically blown up, resulting in large plumes of debris in space. And the debris then rolls wildly through the orbit, endangering any spacecraft, space station, or satellite that happens to cross its path. Even India has joined in on the venture by testing out its satellite-destroying weaponry. All this is a move to let the US and Elon know that the nations of the world will not tolerate a monopoly on space operations. By making an exhibit of their strength, these countries are trying to let Elon reconsider his aggressive approach to satellite launches. The whole spat could have disastrous consequences for Elon's other businesses too. The billionaire has been trying to capture the electric vehicle market in China for quite some time. He even went on a charm offensive to woo Chinese officials. But with the negative publicity from this incident, there is a rising tide of anger and mistrust that Elon has on the back foot. Online, there has been a lot of criticism of Elon's Starlink satellites. When the Chinese government complained against the satellite almost crashing into their space station, netizens rallied against Tesla in a major scare for the CEO. It will be interesting to see how Elon maneuvers himself out of this dilemma. I mean, the entire Starlink concept is so futuristic, it could change the way communication has been done forever. But on the other hand, the satellites do pose a threat to existing scientific experiments. Combine that with the political intrigue, and you have the perfect storm in the making. Here's to hoping that Elon makes it through this period of uncertainty. That's all for tonight. Let us know what you thought of this in the comments section below.